Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our third week assignment is about measuring instruments. In our daily life, we use a number of measuring instruments for the measurement of different physical quantities, such as measurement of length, mass, time, volume, etc. Here we will have a brief insight of measuring instruments that are used for measurement of length, time, volume, and mass. Our objective of this topic is to study about the instruments that are used for measurement of length. First we will start with measurement of length. लेंथ एक ऐसी फिजिकल क्वांटिटी है जिसको हम सदियों से मेजर करते हुए आ रहे हैं. इसके लिए हम हमेशा से डिफरेंट किस्म के फिजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स यूज कर रहे थे. You can see on the screen there are two sets of measuring instruments. One are termed as ancient instruments, whereas the other is termed as modern day instruments. Ancient instruments की examples में आप देख सकते हैं footstep, rope, handspan and arm length. Whereas in modern day instruments you can see meter rule, measuring tape, vernier caliper and screw gauge. एंशियंट इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स के जो स्टैंडर्ड्स हम लोगों ने सेट किए थे लेंथ की मेजरमेंट के लिए, वो ऐसे स्टैंडर्ड नहीं थे जो हमेशा एक जैसे रहें. जैसे दो लोगों के फुट स्टेप की लेंथ जो है वो डिफरेंट होगी, आर्म लेंथ डिफरेंट होगी, हैंड स्पैन डिफरेंट होगा, तो उस सूरत में उन दो लोगों की मेजरमेंट भी फर्क होगी. Whereas when you see on modern day instruments, they have specific standards for measurement. ऐसा इसलिए है, जैसा हम पिछले टॉपिक्स में पढ़ आए हैं कि हमने यूज किया था सिस्टम इंटरनेशनल यूनिट्स. सिस्टम इंटरनेशनल यूनिट्स जो है वो हमें ये बताती थी कि हमने ऐसे स्टैंडर्ड सेट किए जो पूरी दुनिया में कहीं पर भी किसी भी मेजरमेंट के लिए एक जैसे रहते हैं. इस सूरत में हमारे पास वो मेजरमेंट दुनिया के किसी भी कोने में ली जाए तो उसकी वैल्यू भी सेम रहेगी. Okay, coming towards modern day instruments, we have meter rule, measuring tape, vernier caliper and screw gauge. इनमें से कुछ ऐसे हैं जो आप डेली लाइफ में यूज भी कर चुके हैं. सो स्टार्टिंग विद मीटर रूल. मीटर रूल एक ऐसा इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जो आप डेली लाइफ में यूज करते हैं और इसके ऊपर जो टोटल मेजरमेंट है वो एक मीटर होती है जो कि फर्दर 100 डिवीजन्स में कन्वर्टेड होती है. हर एक डिवीजन जो है वो 1 सेंटीमीटर की होगी, तो जो कुल लेंथ बनेगी मीटर रूल के ऊपर वो 100 सेंटीमीटर है. इसकी दूसरी साइड पे मजीद फाइन डिवीजन्स की गई होती हैं जिनमें हर एक सेंटीमीटर को मजीद 10 डिवीजन्स में कन्वर्ट किया गया होता है और हर एक डिवीजन जो है वो 10 मिलीमीटर की बनेगी. So a meter rule can measure up to 1 millimeter as smallest reading. यहाँ smallest reading से हमारी मुराद वो वैल्यू है जो हम किसी भी measuring instrument से precisely measure कर सकते हैं. In case of meter rule, our smallest division is 1 millimeter. So we can precisely measure an object as small as 1 millimeter by using meter rule. Let's have a brief demonstration for meter rule.
रूल है, आप इस पे देख सकते हैं 1 से लेकर 100 तक डिवीजन्स हैं. हर एक डिवीजन 1 सेंटीमीटर को शो कर रही है और हर एक डिवीजन के अंदर मजीद 10 डिवीजन्स हैं और हर एक स्मॉल डिवीजन 1 मिलीमीटर को शो कर रही है. तो इसकी कुल लेंथ जो है वो 1000 मिलीमीटर, 100 सेंटीमीटर या 1 मीटर है. इससे ज़्यादा जो लेंथ मेजर हो सकती है वो 1 मीटर है और जो कम से कम या स्मॉलेस्ट रीडिंग है वो 1 मिलीमीटर है.
Our next instrument is measuring tape. A tape measure or measuring tape is a flexible ruler used to measure size or distance. It consists of a ribbon of cloth, plastic, fiberglass or metal strip with linear measurement markings. It is a common measuring tool. Its design allows for a measure of great length to be easily carried in pocket or toolkit and permits one to measure around curves or corner. मेजरिंग टेप हमारा एक और ऐसा लेंथ मेजरिंग इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जो कि हम आम रोजमर्रा मामूलात में इस्तेमाल होता हुआ देखते हैं। इसकी इफादियत ये है कि ये ज़्यादा बड़ी लेंथ्स को मेजर करने के काम आता है और इसका जो डिज़ाइन है वो ऐसा है कि हम इसको आसानी से कहीं पर भी ले जा सकते हैं। इसमें काफ़ी किस्में हैं जिनमें से ऐसे हैं जो मेटल के बने होते हैं, ऐसे हैं जो फाइबर ग्लास के बने होते हैं, ऐसी मेजरिंग टेप्स भी हैं जो कि प्लास्टिक की या कपड़े की बनी होती हैं। कपड़े की बनी मेजरिंग टेप्स आप ज़्यादातर दर्जी की दुकान पे देखते हैं, जबकि मेटल स्ट्रिप्स वाली मेजरिंग टेप्स जो है वो आप कंस्ट्रक्शन करने वाले हजरात या स्टील या सरिये का काम करने वाले हजरात के पास देखते हैं। Let's move towards another demonstration for measuring tape.
टेप है, जैसे कि मैंने आपको पहले बताया था, इसकी फॉर्मेशन ऐसी है कि इसको इजीली कैरी किया जा सकता है और इसका जो मैंने डिफरेंट मटेरियल्स बताए थे ये कपड़े की बनी हुई है और इसकी जो टोटल लेंथ है वो 30 मीटर है। हमारे पास डिफरेंट केसेस में 50 मीटर और 100 मीटर तक की मेजरिंग टेप्स भी होती हैं। इसको हम ओपन करते हैं और इससे मेजरमेंट लेते हैं। ये चूँकि फ्लेक्सिबल है इसलिए ये कॉर्नर के अराउंड्स भी मेजरमेंट दे सकती है। तो मेजरिंग टेप को मीटर रूल के ऊपर क्या फोकियत हासिल है कि मीटर रूल की मेजरमेंट ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 1 मीटर है और इसमें बेंड पॉसिबल नहीं है, जबकि मेजरिंग टेप से हम बेंड्स के अराउंड भी लेंथ मेजर कर सकते हैं और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लेंथ डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द मेजरिंग टेप 30 मीटर, 50 मीटर या 100 मीटर तक हो सकती है।
One of our most important modern day instrument is known as vernier calipers. Vernier calipers is used where great precisions are required. It is introduced in 1631 by Perry Vernier of France. So vernier calipers are named after the scientist Perry Vernier, whereas calipers is used because of their specific structures. Vernier caliper is an extremely precise measuring instrument whose reading error is 1 by 20th of a millimeter, that is 0.05 millimeter. You can have different vernier calipers. The ones with the least count of 0.1 millimeter and the ones with the least count 0.05 millimeter. We are going to discuss in a later section where we are going to discuss vernier scale. Okay, now coming towards parts of vernier calipers. You can see on a screen there is a vernier caliper whose different parts are elaborated. First we start with upper jaws for inside measurements. When we are going to measure anything from the inside like a diameter of a bottle cup or anything, we are going to use these jaws, whereas the lower jaws are for outside measurements. When we are going to measure the diameter of the bottle cap from outside, we are going to use the lower jaws. They hold the object from the outside, whereas the upper jaws hold the object from the inside. Then you can see a depth rod at the end of the vernier caliper. Depth rod is used for measurement of depth. Now you see lock screw. Lock screw is to lock your reading where you are going to read it from both the main scale and vernier scale. Also you can see a thumb screw. Thumb screw is to move the vernier scale on the main scale. You can see there are two scales mentioned, main scale and vernier scale. Main scale is fixed scale, whereas vernier scale is movable scale. You can move it by thumb screw, you can move it up to the reading you want to take, and then you are going to lock it by your lock screw, and then you are going to read the measurement. Okay, you can also see one jaw is connected with the main scale, whereas the other jaw is connected with the vernier scale. So the jaw connected to the main scale is also considered as fixed jaw, whereas the jaw connected with the vernier scale is considered as movable jaw. Now we will have a demonstration of vernier caliper and its parts.
वर्नियर कैलिपर है, अगर आप इसके पार्ट्स पे गौर करें तो ये आपके आउटर जॉज हैं, ये इनर जॉज हैं, ये मेन स्केल है, ये वर्नियर स्केल है, ये थंब स्क्रू है और ये लॉक स्क्रू है। अगर मैं इसको मूव करना चाहूँ तो मैं इसको थंब स्क्रू से मूव करूँगा, और जब मैंने इसको मूव कर चुका हूँगा तो उसके बाद मैं इसको लॉक स्क्रू से लॉक कर दूंगा। उसके बाद ये मजीद आगे पीछे मूव नहीं हो सकता।
Coming towards the working of vernier caliper, you have to close the jaws lightly on the object to be measured. If you are measuring something with round cross section, make sure that the axis of the object is perpendicular to the caliper. Here you can see three different figures for measurement of depth, for measurement of inside diameter, and for measurement of outside diameter. In case of depth, you use the depth rod of the vernier caliper, whereas in case of measuring inside diameter you use upper jaws, whereas in case of measuring outside diameter you are using lower jaws. Okay, now we will see how it works for different types of measurements.
इनको इनर डायमीटर की मेजरमेंट के लिए यूज़ किया जाता है। अगर ये बॉटल कैप मेरे पास है, मैं इसका इनर डायमीटर मेजर करना चाहता हूँ तो पहले मैं ऐसे इसको रखूँगा सच दैट के जॉज क्लोजली इसकी साइड्स को होल्ड करें। उसके बाद मैं इसको यहाँ से लॉक करूँगा, उसके बाद मैं यहाँ से रीडिंग लूँगा। अगर मैं इसको चेंज करना होगा तो मैं लॉक को खोलूँगा और दोबारा इसको चेंज कर सकता हूँ। अगर मुझे आउटर डायमीटर की मेजरमेंट लेनी हो तो फिर मैं इसको आउटर जॉज के दरमियान भी होल्ड करूँगा, और अगर मुझे इसकी डेप्थ मेजर करनी हो तो मैं इसको इसकी टेल से मेजर करूँगा। अब जो रीडिंग आएगी वो इसकी डेप्थ की रीडिंग होगी।
Okay, now coming towards measurement using a vernier caliper. There are two types of scales, main scale and vernier scale. You can see both on the screen. You have to measure a reading for both main scale and vernier scale. For measurement, first we will need to know about the least count. We have two different scales, main scale and vernier scale. Least count of main scale is 1 millimeter. As we can see on the main scale, the smallest possible reading is 1 millimeter, whereas the least of count of the vernier scale is given by the formula, that is least count is equal to least count of main scale divided by total deviance on vernier scale, such as in case of 10 deviance on vernier scale, least count will become 0.1 millimeter, but in case of 20 deviance on the vernier scale, least count will become 0.05 millimeter. In scale reading, we need to see where the zero of vernier is placed, like from where the vernier scale is starting. Like in this picture, zero of vernier is placed after 33 small readings. Like you can see 3 and 4, and in between you can see 10 small deviations. So if we are considering only the small deviation, that is 1 millimeter, this bar shows 30 and the other bar shows 40. So 30 and 3, 33. In this case, we see that the zero of vernier is placed after 33 small readings on main scale. So the reading on main scale in this case will be 33. Coming towards vernier scale reading. To get the reading on the vernier scale, first we need to know that how vernier scale works. Let's say we have 10 deviance on our vernier scale. If we see the corresponding deviance on main scale, you can see on this, they are equal to 9 deviance on main scale. Like the length of 10 deviance on vernier scale will be equal to 9 deviance on main scale. So in that case, if we see that the reading on vernier scale will be narrower than the reading on the or the deviation on the main scale. In this case, we can see that there will be only one deviation that will completely coincide with any of the deviation on main scale. Rest of the deviations will be either on the left of the deviation on the main scale or on the right of the deviation on the main scale. Like in this case, you can see 0 completely coincides with 1. Now the first deviation on vernier scale is left to the successive division on main scale. In the next division, we see that this difference becomes greater, like the vernier scale division becomes more left to the main scale division. In this case, it keeps on going, and then there comes a point where the 10th division on the main scale, on the vernier scale, completely coincides with the division on main scale. So in this case, one of the vernier scale division will completely coincide with any of the division on main scale. Rest of the division will be on the left of the main scale division or on the right of the main scale division. While taking the reading on the vernier scale, we need to see which of the line on the vernier scale completely coincides with the line on the main scale. The vernier scale reading is the mark on the vernier scale which exactly coincides with the mark on the main scale. As you can see here in this picture, that the third line on the vernier scale coincides with one of the lines on the main scale. Now coming towards total measurement. When we are going to assess the total measurement we have observed by our vernier caliper, we need to see what is the main scale measurement and what is the vernier scale measurement. For main scale measurement, it is equal to the reading on the main scale multiplied by its least count. Whereas we know that the least count on the main scale is 1 millimeter. So it becomes, if we have a measurement like 21 reading on the main scale and the least count of the main scale is 1 millimeter, it will become 21 millimeter. For vernier scale measurement, it is equal to the reading on the vernier scale multiplied by its least count. In this case, if we have the least count of the vernier scale is 0.1 millimeter and the reading we have observed on the vernier scale is 3. So the measurement on the vernier scale will become 3 multiplied by 0.1 millimeter, that is 0.3 millimeter. Now to get the total length observed by the vernier caliper, we need to add both the main scale measurement and vernier scale measurement. So the total length will be equal to main scale measurement plus vernier scale measurement. Now we are going to have a little exercise to measure by the help of vernier caliper. You can see on the figure there is a main scale and there is a vernier scale. As you can see, the zero of the vernier is placed immediately right to the reading, that is 10 centimeter, and the second line on the vernier scale completely coincides with the line on the main scale. So here main scale reading will become equal to 10 centimeter or 100 millimeter. Vernier scale reading will become 2, and if it is multiplied by its least count, that is 0.1 millimeter, it will become 0.2 millimeter. So the total length will become 100 millimeter, that is the reading on the main scale, and 0.2 millimeter, that is the reading on vernier scale. When we add both of them, the total length observed by the vernier caliper will become 100.2 millimeter. There can be a zero error on your instrument. You always need to check before taking any measurement that if there is a zero error or not. If there is no zero error, then everything is fine. But if your instrument has a positive or negative zero error, you need to adjust it in your final observation. Okay, how you check zero error? If the zero of the vernier scale completely coincides with the zero of main scale in normal position when both jaws are closed, then it is a sign of no zero error. When zero of vernier scale completely coincides with zero of main scale when the jaws are closed, there will be no zero error. Like you can see in this case, zero of vernier coincides with the zero of main scale, there will be no zero error. For a positive zero error, zero of the vernier scale is right to the zero of main scale on closing the jaws. If this is the case, there must be another line on the vernier scale that coincides with any of the line on the main scale. You need to note down that reading on the vernier scale and multiply it with the least count of the vernier scale. That will become the zero error, and in this case the zero error is considered to be the positive zero error. You can see the calculation of positive error on the screen when the zero of vernier scale is on the right of the zero of the main scale. For a negative zero error, zero of the vernier scale is on the left of the zero of the main scale. Like in this figure, you can see the zero of the vernier is on the left of the zero on the main scale. So in this case, the error will be termed as a negative zero error. If 0 is not coinciding with the 0 on main scale, there must be another line on the vernier scale that coincides with the line on the main scale. In this case, you can see 8th division coincides with a line on the main scale. But here is a difference in calculation. While calculating a negative error, you don't just multiply the observed line with the least count, but you take the difference of the observed line with the total number of lines on the vernier scale. Here we have 10 divisions and 8 division coincides with a line on main scale. The difference will become 10 minus 8, that is equal to 2. Now this reading will be multiplied with the least count of the vernier scale and it will become our negative zero error, which comes out in this case as minus 0.02 centimeter or minus 0.2 millimeter. In case we have a zero error in our instrument, we need to do the corresponding zero correction to get actual reading. The method to use a vernier scale or caliper with a zero error is to use the formula that is actual reading is equal to main scale plus vernier scale reading subtracting zero error. Like in case of a positive zero error, it will be subtracted from the observed value. But while in case of a negative zero error, it will be added up in the observed value. Zero error may arise due to knocks that cause the calibration to be thrown off at the 0 millimeter when the jaws are perfectly closed or just touching each other. Okay, in our last demonstration, we will see how there can be a zero error in our vernier caliper and how it can be adjusted.
अगर वर्नियर स्केल का जीरो मेन स्केल के जीरो से कंसाइड कर रहा हो तो आपकी मेजरमेंट में कोई जीरो एरर नहीं है, लेकिन अगर मेन स्केल का जीरो वर्नियर स्केल के जीरो से आगे या पीछे हो, सच दैट इन दिस केस वर्नियर स्केल का जीरो मेन स्केल के जीरो से आगे है, इस सूरत में आपका जीरो एरर पॉजिटिव कहलाएगा और आपको इसको फाइनल ऑब्जर्वेशन में से सब्ट्रैक्ट करना पड़ेगा। अगर वर्नियर स्केल का जीरो मेन स्केल के जीरो से पीछे होता तो ये नेगेटिव जीरो एरर कहलाता और इसको फाइनल ऑब्जर्वेशन में ऐड करना पड़ता।
Nowadays, digital vernier calipers are in great use. They are better than their mechanical counterparts because they have high accuracy, better reliability, easy handling, and a precision up to 0.01 millimeter. You can see that the observed reading appears in terms of number on the screen. So it is easier to read out the observed length from a digital vernier caliper than in case of a mechanical vernier caliper. We may consider that our objectives have been achieved if after this lecture we are able to understand and answer why different length measuring instruments are used and how to measure length using different measuring instruments and how you choose a corresponding instrument for measurement of length for different physical quantities. ओके, अब आते हैं अपनी एक्सरसाइज की तरफ। सबसे पहले क्विक क्विज जो कि पेज नंबर 12 के ऊपर दिया गया है, इसके क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स आप लोगों ने लिखने हैं। इसी तरह एग्जाम्पल 1.1 ये भी पेज नंबर 12 के ऊपर है, इसको भी आपने नोट डाउन करना है और अगर इसमें कोई क्वेश्चन है तो वो आपने पूछना है। MCQ नंबर 7 क्वेश्चन नंबर 1.1, क्वेश्चंस 1.7 एंड 1.8 इनके भी आपने आंसर्स लिखने हैं। प्रॉब्लम 1.6 इसमें भी आपने कैलकुलेट करके रिजल्ट निकालने हैं।